since the lockdown lifts, right, everybody gets back to normal. And that is why I didn't have a chance to work with Best Ever Food Review ever again. I still run Easy English and Easy Vietnamese. I also spent the last year focusing on content creating on my old channel on Instagram. I started making a lot of reels on Instagram and it picked up. I think it's quite tricky because you kind of have to put yourself out there all the time, I feel like. I kind of choose a niche that I want to go into the fine dining segment. We are so famous for street food. And if you look at like content creating for street food, it's like way too many and I cannot compete with that.
Vietnam is famous for street food and it's so competitive. The food has changed dramatically. We just had the Michelin guide come to Vietnam for the first time. What difference did that make to the scene? Welcome to another episode of a Vietnam podcast. This is season 10, where I am interviewing past guests who have joined me throughout previous seasons. My name's Niall and I first came to Vietnam in 2015 for a holiday. I went back to New Zealand where I lived at the time, and my wife and I just couldn't stop eating Vietnamese food, Vietnamese coffee, even ba ba ba, which is one of the worst beers you can get. Fell in love with the place, decided to come back, came back for about 6 weeks, and 8 years later, we're still here. So there's something about Vietnam that keeps us here. My guest today was on season 6 back in 2021. She's been a host on the Best Ever Food Review show, which is one of the biggest channels on YouTube. She has her own English and Vietnamese language centers. And she was on season 6 way back in 2021 when we were smack dab in the middle of a lockdown pandemic. We met online on Zoom and we've never met before until today. So my guest today is Thuyen Vo.
Wow, great introduction. Thank you for having me.
So Best Ever Food Review show is a food review channel. So me and Sunny, the channel owner, we have a mutual friends. And then one day the friend just kind of texted me and my friend is looking for somebody who can eat and then react. Like, do you want to get involved? I'm like, okay, it sounds fun. And I have no like prior experience, you know. So I was just like, come in, and then I'm like, okay, how hard can it be? And the coolest thing is Sonny actually gave me my own segment called the $10 dining. And he gave me $10 and I have to figure out 3 meals for the day. Yeah, and I hosted that alone. Yeah, so it's a really, really cool thing to.
That would be
do.
so easy. Yeah. Breakfast, come time, lunch, come time, dinner, come time, done.
Thank you for coming back. And a big part of the last episode, which we won't get into, was how terrible my Vietnamese is. And I think I listened to it again. We spent about the first 5 minutes discussing how to say your name, but I think I'm a bit better now. Thuyen Vo.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
No more of that then. No more of that. Nailed it. I'll take that. I'll accept that. Well, it's finally so good to meet you in person. I've seen so much about the Best Ever Food Review show. It's just gone from strength to strength. We talked in the last episode how you got into that, but what's happening in general with you now since we last spoke in 2021, which is only 3 years ago, but it seems like a lifetime ago because of the pandemic.
It is like I barely remember what happened since. But since the lockdown lifts, right, everybody gets back to normal, and that is why I didn't have a chance to work with Best Ever Food Review ever again.
Oh no!
Because he's been traveling the world, and yeah, I hope that he comes back and then I get to be on it again. But I still run the center. I still run Easy English and Easy Vietnamese. And I also spent the last year focusing on content creating on my old channel on Instagram.
Now, I did miss something out from my introduction, actually, that I meant to say. Something really, really important that I don't think you would know this. So I'm not big on YouTube. I'm a podcaster. I do audio podcasting. But when we were in lockdown, we could obviously record over Zoom, which, as I said, I listened back and the audio quality was absolutely terrible because Zoom is a terrible platform for that. But we recorded ourselves and I put it on YouTube. And I'll be honest, I leveraged on your experience in the Best Ever Food Review Show. So I put in the title. Oh, let me go back a step actually. You can see what people search for. And I've never told you this one either. Or maybe I did tell you by message, I'm not sure. But the number one search term for my website, how people found my website, was Sonny's wife, Thuyen Vo.
Oh my God. Scandal.
So many people, Sonny's wife, ? Is Thuyen Vo Sonny's wife? Like, I think the internet thought that you were Sonny's wife, or they wanted to know.
Yeah.
Or they would put Best Ever Food Review Show Thuyen Vo. So I leveraged that and put in the title of the YouTube video, Thuyen Vo from Best Ever Food Review Show, which I didn't in the beginning.
Thank you, Sonny. You helped everyone.
Well, because I did that, I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works, but I think what happened was when somebody watched you on the Best Ever Food Review Show, they would maybe come up at the end like, do you want to watch this? And I think for a short time, it came up my video. So it went through the roof. It's the most watched video I've ever had on YouTube. And I looked at it last week. It said something like, this video has been watched 1,073 times. This is 1,000 times more than normal.
We should celebrate.
So thank you very much. It's quite funny. I think I only have like 120 subscribers. And if you look at the data, half of them came from that video because they were watching, probably to find out if you were Sonny's wife.
Oh, I'm not.
Let's make it clear right now. We'll clear that up right now. You are not Sonny's wife.
Yeah, I am not. I mean, I think it comes from the thing that he has a wife from Vietnam. And I think maybe that's why people think so. But I think they ship him with anyone that on the show. You know what I mean? Like, because they call it the editing magic. And every time when somebody's on the show, it's like great chemistry. So yeah, maybe that's why.
Oh, so you're telling us now that you don't have good chemistry with Sonny?
No, girl.
You just revealed it.
No, of course, yes. I mean, but still, it's work, you know. Yeah, and then, yeah, it's hard to film. So, but then they make it very nice and smooth, you know. But it's actually a lot of work. I mean, for the team.
Oh, I'm sure.
I just show up. But you know what I mean? Yeah. So they make everything like look great and smooth and easy, but it's not.
What's some of the funny things that's happened to you when you've been filming with the Best Ever Food Review Show?
I think the number one thing is, like, I am not an expert on food at that time. And then people solely watch me because how I react. Like, somehow it's funny. And he likes to do this thing where he didn't tell me what we're going to shoot that day. So I just show up and I'm like, great. And, you know, I hate things when it's really squirmy, you know, slimy kind of thing. And then we have this sea, I don't know how you say that. It's like a sea worm. It looks crazy. And then he was like, do you want to come over here and touch it? And I'm like, maybe not. So he put it on my hands and I hold it. And oh my God, it was the craziest thing. Like, I didn't want to do that ever again. But yeah, like something like that, it happened quite often just because they want to get a reaction out of me.
He's just setting you up to get the reaction.
Yeah. Which I like, you know, because I'm not, I don't do well with like too scripted, like stage kind of thing. And for this show, definitely like nothing like that. Like they don't even tell you what you're going to shoot. So, you know, no stage.
I do remember, I think it was you. I think I messaged you about this. I think it was in Vung Tau, and you talked about going to the beach, but English obviously isn't your first language.
Oh, the beach.
Yes, you remember it.
Oh God, that was embarrassing. But yeah. I don't know why. Like, I can say that like perfectly. I can say beach, but I don't know why. I was really like nervous or something. And then I say, Vung Tau is a bitch city. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry.
And now you're banned from Vung Tau?
I think so. Yeah. If they still remember that video. But yeah, like you said, right? English is not my first language. And,
so I feel bad laughing at you. Like, I don't mean to laugh at you.
No, but it's okay.
It's funny.
I mean, I mean, yeah, people did commented a lot about that. And yeah, he like emphasized that in the editing.
I want to hear more about you're doing content creation. You said you're excited to be on the podcast because you're looking at maybe doing your own podcast, getting into your own content creation for food. Tell us more about that.
I think it takes a lot more because I'm so used to doing just vertical, like a story kind of thing. And that's why I thought to myself that TikTok and Instagram is easier because, it's shorter and it's faster. Like you don't have to make like the whole production, like 50 minutes. So I started making a lot of reels on Instagram and it picked up. Like I got a lot of views, a lot of comments, a lot of followers. And I think I started to get into it because, I'm the type of person I need to see results. Like, I cannot go years and years and years. And Sonny told me the story about how he started, and it takes years.
I've seen his first video, and it is an inspiration.
Yeah.
Because some of what we're doing right now is 10 times better than what I've done before. And I saw his first ever video. It was like grainy, old, black and white. Oh, no, it wasn't black and white, but it was like, it was poor quality. And then now you see it now, and he's got one of the best channels.
Exactly. So.
But you want to go straight to the top?
No, I'm a millennial. So a little. Yeah, like I'm impatient, So yeah, but then I made reels and I figure I really like doing that. And then last year I had some opportunities, to get into a lot of, how do you say that? Like unique kind of dining experiences. And that is why I was so excited to, edit the videos because usually I was not. It takes a lot of time. And yeah, that's what happened. So things started picking up and then I got to work with different brands. I spend more time on content creating and, they call it like the food F&B influencer kind of thing, which I don't know.
Is that your title now?
I still cannot accept it. Well, yes, I hope so, because people watch you that's real and they do follow in the sense of like they want recommendations. And like I'm the same. If I go to a restaurant now, I would not just go. That's crazy in 2024. Like you have to read reviews and you have to go online, see how it looks like, right? See the food, see the venue.
You're saying to me like, right, no, I do not need to do that. But my wife does. And I have friends that I remember we were in Bali somewhere. And she was like, hold on, let me find out what's the best dish to order. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I'll just look up all the reviews. And I would never do that in a million years. I don't want to know the menu. I want to show up, get given a menu, look at it. It's going to be the same 5 things as every other menu. It's going to be a burger, a pasta, a pizza, something.
I disagree.
Go on.
I mean, but yeah.
But you're going to much nicer places than I am.
Like you will figure out some hidden gems like that, right? Like, yeah, I agree. But like, I'm so anxious. So I have to do my search, right? And yeah, I slowly accept the title, because I feel like if I get the title and I owe it, and then I started working like as an influencer, then I'd be okay with it. Like if I don't accept that, and then I would be like, so what am I? Like I'm not even proud of my own work, then that's not great. So yeah, so I accepted that. I put it on my LinkedIn, and then it's became something.
You mentioned you're a millennial. You almost look too young to be a millennial. I'm an elder millennial, I've found out, which is bizarre.
What do you mean an elder?
Because I'm on like the cusp. So like I'm born in 82.
Right.
So like I'm just a millennial. You look a lot younger than me. But it's funny because I don't know, there's a American right-wing talk show woman person. I don't even know what she is. Her name's Tammy Laren. This was years ago. She was on the Trevor Noah show, like the Daily Show with Trevor Noah. And she went, well, I'm a millennial, so I don't like labels. And he's like, just labeled yourself there. Like,
millennials.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that's a millennial trait that they love to label themselves.
Oh, maybe.
Because you've just done it. You're like, I need a label.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have, I know what you mean now. Yeah, I think so. I think Gen Z, they prefer a little more freedom. But as millennial, we need labels to navigate our life. Because what am I if I'm not an influencer?
When did this start though, that we needed to name the generations? Because I remember 5-10 years ago, I barely even knew I was a millennial. I didn't know what a Gen Z was until about 6 months ago. Before we were all just people, and now suddenly it's like, oh, I'm like, I hear Gen Zers, they're proud to be like, oh, I'm Gen Z. Boomers are not proud to be called boomers. That's like an insult. If you're like, okay, boomer. And then other millennials are like in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, no, I think the word has been changing like drastically. Don't you agree? Like, I feel like now people started to have some time, like downtime, and then really sit down and think about things. That's why the term healings like really rising. And I think so. I don't know. Again, I want to label it so I know who people, like where they are, Have you ever heard of a millennial pause?
A millennial pause?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so, oh my God, I don't know why I'm getting into this. But millennials, usually when you film a video, you will press record and then you pause and then you talk. Do you know that? Oh my God. And then the Gen Z, they would just start talking. They don't pause. Yeah, that's a thing. Like, oh my God, I spend way too much time on TikTok.
Talking about the millennial pause, have you heard of the Gen Z selfie?
I'm not a Gen Z, so I don't know. Sorry.
Don't apologize for not being Gen Z.
Yeah, like my TikTok is like millennial content.
This is going to change your life then. So my wife, who's also an elder millennial, is all about the Gen Z selfie. So you have your phone here, right? So you know how you take a selfie, camera faces you. So pick up your phone. We'll do a selfie, right? Take a selfie of yourself, like a normal selfie.
I would just do it with my camera facing me,
Yeah, right?
So how do they do that?
So apparently the Gen Z selfie is turn it around so it's not on the selfie, so it's coming out the front camera. Now put it on 0.5.
0.5?
Turn it round and take the picture with the side button. Which one of the side buttons takes the picture? I think it's...
Okay.
No, you closed it. That was the wrong
button. I closed it.
That was the wrong button. See, no, but I do the same as well. Try it again.
This is
the Gen Z way.
Embarrassing.
It's one of the volume buttons, I think, takes the picture.
Oh, yeah, I did. And that was awkward.
But that's a Gen Z selfie.
Dang.
And it's way better because you put it on 0.5. It picks up way more. And the front camera is a higher quality than the selfie camera, right?
God,
so
they figure it out.
They figured it out. So I've taught you something new, the Gen Z selfie. So now when you do your TikToks and your videos and your selfies, I want to see it. I want to see the Gen Z selfie.
Yeah, let's confuse some people.
That's how they do it. Yeah, there you go. So what's next then in terms of your content creation, your food and beverage influencer? You mentioned that you're friends with Joval, who's also been on the podcast during the pandemic as well. Oh,
so great. Yeah. Talking about content creating, I think is quite tricky because you kind of have to put yourself out there all the time, I feel like. And that is why at first I was quite hesitant to do it. Like still now I'm not doing it full time. Like I'm still doing Easy English. But I feel like it's like now is the time, you kind of have to jump on that train because my background is marketing and I can see how effective that is. And I start to have the perspective of both the business and then the consumer because I've been on both sides. And that's why I wanted to try to do it first. And then I want to learn more about that. That's why I want to kind of go to Europe next year and learn, I don't know, about hospitality or something like that. I don't know, but do you have this feeling when I'm 29.
Oh, she's revealed it. She's told us all now.
I'm fine with that. And I feel like I find like this new passion for learning because now I know exactly what I like. Unlike, when I was like 18, I don't know why people asked me to choose like a major in college. I had no idea what I want to do. I didn't do anything. I didn't try anything. So, that's why now I know what I want and I kind of want to, gone on that path again, kind of learn in a school, where I learn things properly. And at the same time, kind of want to discover, another country, for example, because I love traveling. Yeah. Then I still want to do that, work with hotel, work with, resort and also food and beverages. I kind of choose a niche that I want to go into the fine dining segment because I feel like that is where I kind of have a little more, of the room to play around. Because I feel like in Vietnam, we are so famous for street food. And if you look at like content creating for street food, it's like way too many. And I cannot compete with that. Oh my God. I cannot even, ride a motorcycle. You asked me today. I was like, yeah, I took a Grab. Guilty. So I kind of choose fine dining segment because I remember I filmed the episode with Sonny about fine dining, and then at first I told him like I don't like this. Like, oh my God, we going to this restaurant, fancy restaurant, and we're like sit down. The portion is small. But after we filming that, yeah. But you be surprised how full you are after. Yeah. So after those episodes, I changed my mind, and one of the video is about caviar, and it's like the highest view I ever had on the show. And I figure it's actually it's an art, like, because I never look at food like that. Like, I love food, but it was never like that. And then when I look into fine dining, I was like, gosh, like that was a whole new world. And last year I had a chance to, have dinner in like some Michelin-starred restaurants. My first time I had a 3-star in Singapore. Oh my God, that was so crazy. And then a 2-star and then a 1-star, right? So like all of that is come down to experiences. And I really want to share that with everyone because before I got into that, I didn't know that it was a thing. I would just eat food and then move on with my life. But
as most of us do.
Right. But then, yeah, it was an art itself. And I want to show that to people. I think I love education and I love, content creating. So I feel like whenever I talk about food, it's in a way, it's like education itself because I'm talking about this knowledge of food and a lot of things that people misunderstand, especially in this day and age. Like, you have way too many information. Like, I feel the same way. And you kind of navigate, you kind of have to choose an influencer that fits you. You know that, right? Like, you don't watch everyone.
I don't watch any influencer, but
oh, God.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah. Like, for example, fashion, right? I have to watch an influencer that had the same body type as me, right? So it's the same way. And the chance is like, the opportunity is a lot because, yeah, it's competitive, but at the same time, the market is also great. And then you can just kind of start, which I'm trying to do. Yeah.
It's interesting talking about fine dining. I really like the point you made about Vietnam is famous for street food, and it's so competitive because you can find anywhere on YouTube. It's like, I ate for $1 a day in Vietnam or blah, blah, blah. And people love to go on about it. And it is one of the appealing things here. Like, I had Vung Tau today for lunch and it's just so delicious. And it costs like $2, $3, right? You know what I mean? So you do think about it. But this is something, we talked a lot about this on this podcast. I talk about it a lot. Vietnam, Saigon especially. I do this all the time where I say Vietnam, but I actually mean Saigon because Saigon is completely different to the rest of Vietnam. And most of Vietnam is still very rural. You go out to the countryside. I mean, you drive an hour out of Saigon, you're in the countryside. So Saigon especially, I don't know about Hanoi because I don't go there, I don't live there. I've been a couple of times, but I don't know about Hanoi. But Saigon especially has developed so much in the past 8 years that I've been here, like incredibly so. And food is part of that. Because I'm not part of the food and beverage team, normally when I talk about the development of Saigon, I talk about there's a new bridge, there's a new tower, there's a new road, because these are things that you can see and things that I use. So I don't think about the food so much, but now you bring it up. The food has changed dramatically. When we first came here, it was like, I want to get a banh mi because it costs less than $1, I want to get cum tam because it costs $1. But now the fine dining scene, and what I want to ask you about, to talk about, which is so exciting, we just had the Michelin guide come to Vietnam for the first time. What difference did that make to the scene?
There's a lot of controversial, about Michelin guide coming here, but